Yo, yo, yo. What I want to do in this video is just talk about absolute value, and we'll learn about absolute value using a number line. Okay, so we're going to talk about absolute value. So very simply, without getting into the technical definition, the absolute value is just the distance from zero. For example, if I ask you, how far is 7 from 0? I know it's not very hard here, but how far is 7 from 0? Well, 7 away, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how far is negative 3 from 0? Well, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 3 away. How far is negative 10 from 0? Well, it's 10 away. So notice that because we're talking about distance, okay, and distance is never measured in terms of a negative number, the absolute value, your answer should always be a positive answer because of the definition. It's a distance. We're measuring some kind of distance here. So now the way that we represent this is we say something like this. So like, say if I say, what's the absolute value of 7? That's what two little vertical bars mean. It means absolute value of 7. So this literally means how far is 7 from 0. That's what this means. How far is 7 from 0? Well, let's see. This is 7 and this is 0, so it's 7 away. And how far is negative 7 from 0? Well, how far is negative 7 from 0? Well, that's also 7 away. So the way that we read this is the absolute value of 7 is 7. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. Let's do a few more here just so that this makes sense. What is the absolute value of negative 0.01? Meaning, how far is negative 0.01 away from 0? Well, it's 0.01 away from 0. And how far is a half from 0? Well, it's a half. Pretty simple there, right? So we should be able to do these examples then. Example number 5 right here. What is the absolute value of negative 3? That's it, right? It's 3 away. What's the absolute value of 3? And then its opposite. So it's the opposite of the absolute value of 3. Well, the absolute value of 3 is 3, but then we drop down that negative sign, so the answer is negative 3. Here it's the opposite of the absolute value of negative 3. So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3, and then bring this guy down right here. Now, if you're wondering, well, why don't we just multiply this negative by that positive? Okay, the reason why that doesn't work is because we need to first take the absolute value, and then we can go ahead and take care of what's on the outside of that. So that's what I'm doing right there. I'm choosing to do the absolute value first, and then on the outside we'll go ahead and do its opposite. So the absolute value of 8 is 8. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. So that means we get 9. Cool beans. And then we get, so now let's do what's inside of the absolute value bracket. So we have 8 minus 1, which is 7, but don't drop the absolute value bar because we haven't taken the absolute value yet. So the absolute value of 7 is plainly 7. Okay. Example number 6. The question right here says, of the customer service representatives and the sewing machine operators, which will show the greater change? Which one's going to show the greater change? Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out right here. So the greater change, which basically means which has its greatest absolute value. That's what this is really saying right here. Which one has its greater absolute value? So if we look at all these, which one would have its greatest absolute value? Well, it's the biggest number, right? The absolute value of 48.7 is 48.7, which is the furthest away from 0. So this guy would win right there.